Welcome back everybody to War Thunder Weekly News. Be sure to hit the subscribe button because it seems next week we're going to be getting another squadron vehicle, this time a Japanese destroyer. But I also have a few other interesting stories, so be sure to stick around. But let's first start talking about this squadron vehicle. It is the Japanese destroyer Shimakaze. This was an experimental ship armed with 15 torpedo tubes that could fire the Type 93 long-range torpedo. So when a naval enduring confrontation comes around, this thing is going to be a murderer. And in fact, it coming around makes me think perhaps maybe they are planning a naval enduring confrontation. That would definitely make people really want this vessel. Perhaps even want it so badly that they pay for it with golden eagles. Which makes me excited regardless, because naval enduring confrontation was pretty fun. And it'll be nice to be able to go out into the high seas again in a light cruiser. Now, with the introduction of this ship, if you know anything about Japanese vessels, or primarily this Japanese vessel, you'd take pretty obvious notice that there's something wrong here. Something afoot. Not right. A little bit off. You see, upon careful inspection, people have noticed that one of the turrets is missing. Like, how do you miss that? It's so obvious. Just Google an image of the boat, you'll see there's 3 turrets. Actually, don't Google search images of the boat. The weebs have infected that. Or at least add ship to your Google search. Gaijin had opened a thread on their forums about the dev blog for this vessel, noting suspected error in model. Please post data and sources to the Shimakaze here to be reviewed. And then it says, like they have the gall to actually say this, note, Wikipedia is not a recognized source, but the references in Wikipedia can help find approved sources. Like, you don't need Wikipedia for this. You left a turret off. It's missing a turret. However, unlike me, people were actually respectful and posted sourced images of the actual vessel with the turret there that Gaijin seemed to have forgotten existed. Like, one dude actually posted images of the vessel as it currently is, sunk underwater. The turret's still there, and some other people sourced various blueprints of the ship. And guess what? All of them had 3 turrets. I'm really wondering, because I don't think I've ever seen this ship with 2 turrets. So where did Gaijin do with the other turret? Like, they should be sending us sources on how it's supposed to have 2 turrets, not the other way around. Like, were the devs distracted with something while they were making the boat? Maybe they forgot to put ship at the end of their Google searches. Apparently the model is also missing its air search radar that was on the main mast. Even if they do add that to the model, I don't think they're gonna give it proper radar. I haven't given any of the ship proper radar yet. But anyways, all the information, at least about the turret missing, has been sent to the developers, and it should be fixed by the time it enters the game, ideally. My concern is that it's going to delay the release of the vessel. I would hope that wouldn't take too long, but in the past, Gaijin has taken their time with fixing minor things like this. But I'm just gonna hope that it does come out sometime next week. Besides that, I'm pretty hyped for the vessel, because it looks pretty good. I'll probably buy it with golden eagles, because I have all these golden eagles from being a content creator. And my assumption is it's probably gonna be around 4.3, as it has the same guns as the Yugumo. So with that vessel, and I believe the premium one, it could be a pretty good lineup there. However, personally, I have to take out with the Yodachi, which is fine. Next story I have is about some equipment, starting with ones that we have in game and some that are apparently being found in the files. So starting off, there seems to be some sort of new mechanic involving the sparrows. Not exactly sure what it's representing or if it does anything or is telling you anything, but it's actually just a circle with a line coming off it, what I assume in the direction of whatever the plane is facing, the one you had locked onto with your radar. This one guy, the Big Iron, believes that it could possibly be a lead indicator to where you're supposed to be pointing your aim 7s. Modern jets do have quite a lot of electronic assistance for the pilot, so something like this could be understandable, but if they are going to add something so fancy, I wonder what we could see in the future are really going to be heading down this direction with modern jets. Regardless, it really makes me want to get a VR headset and experience it all in simulation, although I hear VR and sim kind of suck. But speaking with modern jets, if we do get those, of course they would be coming with modern equipment, and apparently somebody had found a AGM 65 in the files. However, nobody of note had confirmed this, so it's possible this is a fake. I don't know how to work the CDK, so I can't go dig around there and see it myself. And the usual guy I asked to verify these type of things, he was asleep because he lives in Britland. Now this dude claiming it's real, saying perhaps the A-10 is confirmed. However, there are a large number of aircraft that carry AGM 65s, some of which are the H-64 Apache, the A-6 Intruder, of course the A-10, the A-7 Corsair II, and the F-4 Phantom, so it could be any one of those if they were going to be adding this, and we already have 2 of those vehicles in game. Now if they were to add it to one of these vehicles, I think it would most likely be the Apache, as I believe it was one of the German helicopters already has essentially fire and forget ATGMs. So this type of technology wouldn't exactly be new to that type of vehicle. Now the final thing found in the files that I thought was kind of interesting was an old torpedo dug up by that one data miner that I cannot pronounce the name of. He had found a 450mm German World War I torpedo that was used by cruisers and battleships. So knowing that Gaijin wants War Thunder to be a World War II game mainly and not have many pre-war stuff in it, as we can see with the other game modes, I went through all of the battleships and cruisers that were built during World War I and thus would fire this torpedo, but were used in World War II, and there wasn't too many. There was about 2 battleships and a good number of cruisers. However, most of those cruisers that existed till World War II weren't being used as cruisers anymore, and I'm not really sure what use torpedoes would be to an anti-aircraft platform. So the only cruiser that I could find that seemed to have any combat role that wasn't shooting down airplanes in the Second World War that was built by Germany in the First World War was the SMS Niobe, which was after the First World War sold to Yugoslavia, which was then captured by the Italians in the Second World War, and then Italians surrendered and the ship found its way back into German hands once more. Problem, I don't think this vehicle is going to be added to War Thunder, at least not to the German tree, as its armament is kind of disappointing, only having 10.5 centimeter guns. The German naval tree already has a vehicle that fits that demeanor, and this one would probably just be slower. Therefore, I'm more likely to believe that it's actually going to go to a battleship. And of battleships that were used during the First World War and the Second that had torpedo tubes, I could find 2. The SMS Hessen and the SMS, I cannot pronounce that. And the armaments of these ships aren't exactly a whole lot of a step up compared to things that we currently have at the top ranks of the game. The Hessen was armed with 4 28cm guns, similar to what's on the Admiral Graf Spee, though it looks to have a stronger secondary armament of 14 17cm guns, as well as 18 8.8cm guns, while the other battleship has 4 24cm guns, which is much smaller than the main caliber of the Graf Spee. Now you're probably thinking, Germany's gonna get more larger ships so they can be more OP. That's not fair. You're probably right, but you don't have to worry, because there's other things found in the files. Textures of various large caliber naval guns, a 305mm gun for a Russian Gongut class dreadnought, and finally, after years of anticipation, at least for me, mainly because of a meme, and you'll understand in just a second, a 381mm cannon that was used on the HMS Hood battlecruiser. So now we can finally ask Gaijin where the Hood at. But if I were to guess when we could see these things actually added into game, I wouldn't be surprised if we could see it in the next patch or 2. As Gaijin did say that battlecruisers were to be added this year, and so far we haven't got them. There's only a few patches left. I really can't wait for this thing because there's so many bad Hood jokes you can make with it, but also because it's an iconic ship not only for the British Navy but World War II as a whole. So that'll be quite exciting. Now, last little bit, there's already people demanding the mods of the forums tell them what is and isn't coming in the next patch, even though like we just had a patch. Like, chill out, guys. But we did get some answers out of them, though they're very vague. The first one stating that new maps of all kinds are always possible. As for what ones, we can't specify. So new maps maybe? Somebody was asking for the Mystere IV, and their response was, it's possible one day, yes, but I can say at least not this major for sure. And once again, the F-14 was denied, stating that, yeah, it's too advanced, it's like a generation ahead. Now here's the interesting part. There was a lot of speculation of MiG-23 coming. People are demanding answers. Is the MiG-23 coming? And I read through most of the mods' answers to this question, and none of them were a direct no. For example, the other one in this comment saying that BVR being in-game is more of a confirmation of MiG-23 than rumored supercarriers are confirmed for naval F-4s. See, Sim didn't come out saying, no, the MiG-23 is not coming, or it does not confirm the MiG-23. He said, there are quite literally hundreds of aircraft with BVR. So does not mean they are suddenly all confirmed too. No, it does not, and we have not confirmed anything about anything yet. Carrier models are indeed being worked on. Sure they are. As being confirmed in a Q&A. They will come when they are added. But what about the MiG-23, bro? You kind of just dodge that one. I don't know. Oftentimes people do kind of get ahead of themselves with speculation, but sometimes, despite there not being any facts saying it's coming, like everyone just gets the feeling. They understand, yeah, it's coming. We already know. You don't even need to say anything. It was like that when the 2A4 was coming. Like everyone just knew all of a sudden the 2A4 is coming. The guys just showed us the 2A4. They were exploding over it, but there was like no evidence saying that they had confirmed the 2A4. But lo and behold, it did come, though they were kind of ramping on it for a few patches before then. What I'll adopt from this is it's very possible that the MiG-23 is on the roadmap for War Thunder of this year. F-14, people have been telling me, or a person, someone who I find most likely trustworthy, has told me at the end of the year we're going to get F-14. However, by the end of the year, they might have changed that schedule, so we'll have to wait and see if that's how it goes. But before I end this video, first, I'd like to give a nice, firm, strong handshake to the most awesome people on this planet. Starting with a new one, Soviet Aqua, CMDR Edward, and Sukablia Inawe, with a special shout out to his $10 a month donation tax. And for YouTube members, the $1 ones are, starting with a new one, Young Bruh, Bouncy Seal, Cupcake Jesus, T for Tom, Luce, Mako, and Raymond the Saints. The $5 a month ones are Laizu Sufudai, GG Ultra Blue, I like them thick, Matthew Cameron, Lars Henrik, Fyodor Kliglinski, Niko Gorkamaki, Mehmet Hazarchi, Tex, Roger Remer, Grimace, Mighty Peppers, Pointless Gunsinks, and Waffly Joker 6. And a special shout out to Joe Blofsky for his $10 a month contribution. Thank you very much. Oh yeah, a reminder to the YouTube members, primarily YouTube members, I believe you should be able to use the emojis I have set for this channel on comments, at least for my videos. I'm not sure if it works for other videos. There should be like a little face underneath the area you type your comment. Check it out. If you want to join the YouTube members and perhaps get some emojis to put in your comments, there should be links below. Press the join button to be a YouTube member, but if you want to go through Patreon, there should be a link for that as well. So if you have any comments, concerns, or questions, be sure to hit me up down below or on my Discord. If you've liked the video, be sure to hit the like button. If you didn't like the video, don't hit the like button. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. I make War Thunder weekly news videos every weekend. I make reviews for the week, and I like to stream on Saturdays. So be sure to hit the bell icon to be notified in time of everything. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day. In the terms of bonus news, what if I told you that hot dogs are sandwiches? You wouldn't believe me. You'd say it's blasphemy. Well, that's what I felt when I found out on Wikipedia they classify hot dogs as sandwiches.